All right, fantastic. So thank you very much for the introduction. Yeah, as you mentioned, I am Steve Oram. I am an accounting executive here with SysAid, and I also lead our customer growth team. I'm going to be taking you through a couple of things here today with the customer journey. So we're going to be starting with the self-service portal, kind of the end user experience. I'm going to be moving on to our new workflow designer, showing automation in action and getting rid of all the code and letting us do all the heavy lifting for creating efficient workflows. And then finally, putting it all together with a little bit of BI analytics, sharing and measuring your success, and all the different types of reporting that SysAid has built into the tool. So to get things started, we're going to go through the self-service portal. So the goal of the self-service portal is to enhance the end user experience by offering a central point of service for all of their incidents and requests, regardless of the department that will be servicing the requests. We're trying to increase ticket deflection with things like password reset, knowledge base, historical ticket lookup, everything that the end user should have access to, all in a one-stop shop, which is really going to increase end user adoption. And in order to properly showcase this, what I've got up here right now is an example of the SysAid self-service portal. So completely customizable. You're going to put your own logo in the upper left-hand corner, change the background, the color scheme, the layout, the service catalog. All of that is completely customizable. What is important to notice is the service catalog. And the service catalog in SysAid is done in a way so that you can break out by different departments or segmentations, and it's very, very easy to use and increases adoption, because if everything is all in one spot, everybody needs to come back here. You know, the problems with an IT, that's pretty obvious. You should be coming to an IT self-service portal, but maybe next year with SITs, we're back in person. Hopefully, we're not doing it digitally next year, we're back in person, and we're gonna need some swag. Well, that request is gonna have to go to the marketing routine. Or I'm going to do a new hire, and as a people manager, I'm hiring new employees, and I need to kick off the request from the HR side to make sure that they are onboarded correctly the first time. So as an end user, I don't need to know what happens from the time that I click into one of the service catalogs, or whether I need to submit an incident or submit a request. That is all available and automatically on the back end. All I need to know is what my problem is. If you can check out on Amazon, you should be able to check out within SysAid. So is my problem within IT, all the problems that I can have within IT, it's on my laptop, I understand that, and I can't access the network drive, great, no problem, takes me into the incident submission section specifically for that issue. With SysAid, there is unlimited templates, unlimited custom forms. Does not matter what information needs to be captured, is completely customizable and configurable by you guys. So the templates map to the categories, and as you check through different templates or remove different categories, the forms change as well. Anything with an asterisk is a required field. You can pre-fill any of the fields with any default information. And the title section also links to the knowledge base. So it's going to auto-suggest articles for the end user to see if they can solve this issue for themselves before they've even sent the ticket in. So if they decided not to check the FAQ section on the main page, there's a bit of a safeguard in here so that they're not submitting tickets that the knowledge base article already exists on. You can complete the rest of the ticket, and again, anything with an asterisk is a mandatory field. Drag and drop any attachments or any additional information that would help supplement this ticket and be able to submit right from here. You get a service record number popped up at the top with your service record number, who it's been assigned to, estimated completion date, and hopefully it's nothing business critical. They can go back about their day. After I've submitted that ticket, I might want to go to the bottom and see the status of my open tickets or closed tickets. I can go back and see the historical ones that maybe I've logged in the past. I'm having the same issue. I need to know what the resolution is instead of submitting a new ticket for them to tell me the exact same answer. Or digging through my email history, I can look at all my closed tickets. But for the open tickets, quick little hovers on the right side are going to show high-level details, and then we can drill into them. And you guys from the administrative side can pass back whatever details are relevant to the end user. So description, all of your message history regarding this particular ticket, any attachments that have gone back and forth, so you don't need to email large file attachments anymore. They're all in one spot. Any notes can be added here, threaded and timestamped. And then any details, again, you guys want to pass back. I always recommend removing things like urgency and priority from what the end user sees. Very important for your team, not as important for necessarily the end users to see. As well, I will come back here a little bit later when I get to the workflow section, which is next, but end users can also participate in requests, changes, and problems through the Workflow Actions tab. So individual tasks that have been assigned to them as part of a cog in the wheel can be completed through the self-service portal without the need to have it paid for administrative licenses. So that can be an approval step, that could be part of an HR onboarding workflow where other departments are participating in collaborating to get that user all ready to start. We also have your FAQ section down here on the right with your top 5 articles by default. You can drill in, see anything you want, full text search, a pop-out with an announcement section, and then things that we can do to help push tickets away, things like password self-service, allowing end users to reset their own passwords or unlock their own accounts. That can be done right from within the self-service portal. It can also be done from the user login page when they're logging in if you're not using single sign-on. And lastly, it can be added to the MS Gina of a Windows account, this little lock icon. So if they're completely locked out of their computer, they can unlock and reset the password from there as well, thereby doing a lot of ticket deflection. Password reset and password self-service deflects a lot of tickets away from SysAid. The next section I want to get into is the new workflow designer or process management. So workflows are a big part of SysAid. Workflows are changes, problems, and requests. We're based on ITIL, so we have them all separated out. But essentially, if you know how to create a request, you know how to create a change, you know how to create a problem, the process for creating them is all done via the workflow designer. So the workflow engine is very configurable, and again, increases cross-department collaboration as administrators and end users alike can participate, as I just mentioned. But it also has a full audit trail. This workflow engine has been made even easier with the new workflow designer, which I'm going to showcase for you here. So this is an example of the administrative side of SysAid and what a template would look like for a new hire process. You have all your steps across the top, your sub-steps within them, and the configurability of this with a lot of tools would be done through code. With SysAid, it is all done through a drag and drop GUI interface. So we have this new workflow designer. All of your steps you can see are across the top. You can see what the dependencies are through these little drag and drop arrows, quick little hovers highlight. And if you want to add additional dependencies, it's all just done through a drag and drop. So you can exit out of that. You can move entire steps around, entire sections, entire departments, does not matter. You can reallocate, reorganize things, understand the dependencies, understand the action items within each step. So if you want to add custom fields, drop-downs, pick lists, descriptions, additional details, whatever you would need to properly configure one of these processes to be identical to your current likely paper processes. So we are configurable from step 1. It does not matter what the first initial step is with the workflow. The entire step thing is customizable by you guys and can include 1, 2, 3, 500 steps. There is no limit. You can see the length of this particular one. And again, adding a new step is as simple as adding a new step, add a caption, and then you can drag your action item steps over, whether it's a pre-created one that you've created in the past, do it once, you never have to do it again, or you can also bring over brand new ones. But steps are as easy as dragging in. And if there are dependencies, maybe this one is going to open up after the signature. It's going to have to open up on completion. So you can see this little icon here has been turned off because there is a dependent item on it. So completely customizable and configurable. Again, right from step 1, the details and the content that make up these workflows is 100% configurable based on your processes. Does not have to follow ITIL specifics, even though that is definitely what we recommend. And then looking at one of these in action. So this would be a service request on the administrative side. Your service managers will be looking at the entire overview of what this request would look like. All of the steps are up at the top. There is a legend, so green has been completed, blue is in progress, gray has a dependency on something else. So, the first step in onboarding our new employee here, Jordan Spieth, joining the company, really excited about it, is to have our receptionist prepare a building card. So Rena is a receptionist. Again, she is our free end user. She's going to do everything through the self-service portal via the workflow actions tab. So there's no need for her to have a license. If it's something like an approval, that can be done via an email. Absolutely no problem. Or she can log into the self-service portal, HTML5. Portal is accessible from anywhere that they have the internet. Complete her task, move on to facilities, and then facilities completes their step. And then we get onto the help desk side where the IT team gets involved. But the IT team has more than one step, definitely. We have multiple people working on things in collaboration. Brandon is building the PC, while Ali is creating the email account. I'm working on setting up the phone account, but you can see the user login is grayed out. It can't be completed until the email account has been done. Obviously, doesn't make any sense. You can't have a user login before you have an email account. So understanding the dependencies, understanding the prerequisites, and understanding the process and the steps, what can happen at the same time, and what requires something else to be on there instead at the beginning. And regardless of whether it's a request, a change, a problem, the process for creating and completing them, whether it's very complex or very, very simplified, completely up to you. The workflow designer can adapt to any processes that you guys would have in place. And again, with unlimited fields, forms, and templates, you can drag in a new action item, something that hasn't been created before. You don't have to go back to any other screens to create anything from scratch. Bring over the appropriate fields that you need for this particular step and create that new caption. What used to take approximately 5 to 6 hours in order to create a proper workflow from start to finish, leveraging the workflow designer, we've seen our teams cut that down to about a 30-minute process. Again, that's from start to finish. You can likely, with things like a onboarding request, you're going to have very similar requests for different departments and different types of users. So you're going to create that initial template one time, clone it, and make minor tweaks. And from that initial plan that you have created, that initial workflow that you've created, you would have a variety of ways that you can configure that and make it adaptable without having to start from scratch every single time. Now, the last thing I want to get in here, again, I know we don't have a ton of time for these demonstrations, so we're aiming to keep this pretty short and trying to summarize a much longer hour demo into about 15, 20 minutes. So the next section we're going to get into here is reporting and BI analytics. So SysAid offers built-in reporting and dashboarding throughout. There's personal dashboards that each individual administrator can have. You can have as many of them as you want. There's an insight panel on every ticket, whether it's an incident, a change, a request, or a problem, that gives little personalized updates and guidance and accountability for your users. Things like open service requests, how many service requests you've completed in a particular day, service requests that are approaching a due date or that are overdue potentially, and ones that you should be working on instead of what you're currently doing. We also have scheduled reporting that gets the data to the users in their hands on the schedule that they need it. So if each department head needs a status of all their team's tickets every Friday afternoon or every Monday morning, for example, those reports can be scheduled and sent out to end users via an email in whatever format they would prefer to digest that in, a PDF, an Excel, or a .csv file. Beyond that, SysAid has built-in business intelligence tool that allows for better trending and analysis to help you unlock the power of your own data and make better business decisions. So I'm going to slide over our BI analytics tool. So out of the box, you get all of these current sheets open. So you get your active service records, time and category, dimension, your SLA breaches, etc. All of these come pre-created. In this case, we're going to look at historical. That's really what BI and analytics is good for. It's trending and analysis. So let's look at all of our service records over time and category. And we can see here there's 26,632 service records. That's far too many to take a look at. We want to look at some of our trends and understand where we can get better. So let's just take a look at a couple of the historical years. We'll go back to 2016, 2017. See, we're adding the filter and the data is manipulating at live time as I'm going through it. So we've cut 10,000 service records out, we're looking at 15,000. And looking at the breakdown of our top level category, understanding where the most of these tickets are coming from, we can see accounts and passwords, account for 19% of our tickets. So let's drill in. The lower level, the second level category within that is password reset. Again, let's go one level further and understand what the challenges with our password reset are. You can see over the course of the 2 years we're looking at, we've had 1,111 tickets and spikes, particularly in the summer months for some reason. So May, June, July, August have these spikes that we're not quite sure what's going on. We can drill into this data, Or I can take this information, keep the sections that I've completed up at the top, and let's take a look at by location. Maybe we want to understand departmental location, maybe we want to understand physical location, but where is this data coming from? Where are our problem users with password reset? Who needs additional training? And you can see it's coming from our sales, our operations team. And then from the departmental side, about 33% again are also coming from IT, which we would likely expect. If somebody is calling us with a password reset issue, IT would be logging it instead of the end user logging it. So you would have a certain discrepancy of IT in there. Within each of these, you can view the embedded data, understand what's beneath it. You can create snapshots of these and start to build out stories that can be exported to all your storyboard tools and really showcase the details within each one. So again, taking snapshots, exporting information, getting all of this data out and putting it into the hands of the people that need it, and prepare presentations to make better business decisions and provide better guidance and accountability. So again, thank you very much for this very, very brief and very quick introduction to SysAid. Again, self-service is a win-win for your organization. Having everybody in all departments, not just IT, leveraging the self-service portal and leveraging requests is going to give you guys more adoption to the self-service portal. It's going to force everybody to go to one central point, especially in this digital world we're all living in. Having that central point of access for all different types of issues, requests that end users can make and your customers can make in one central spot. With a workflow designer, set your automation the way that you want it, the right way, with exactly the nomenclature and the steps in place that you guys need to be the most efficient. And all of that comes back to BI Analytics, showing you your improvements and your successes. That's everything for me.
That's great. Thank you very much indeed, Stephen. We have got enough time for a question, at least one, I think, which is great. And there is one that's come through from Christine, which is really about the workflow designer. I think that's what's captured the interest there. And
wonderful.
The skills or knowledge that you need. We've had a lot of these today, actually, about sort of configuration. The skills and knowledge you need to build out a workflow in workflow designer. Could you maybe, what type of skills you need to do that, what type of knowledge you need to do that?
So SysAid is a very, very well documented and detailed tool. We have steps all the way through with our FAQ sections and our help guides. So if you want to do it on your own and figure it out on your own, it's very, very easy. The level of knowledge is very low. Again, you can see it's all done through a WYSIWYG style drag and drop tool. I didn't go in and do any coding of any sort. All you really need to understand is what you want, what your steps are, add in the details, the nomenclature, and again, it's all done through typing and dragging, and it's all done through the visual GUI. As well, if you are a new customer to SysAid, part of our onboarding process includes training. So we follow the train the trainer method for implementing all of our customers. So you get training on not only the workflow designer, but incidents, changes, problems, self-service, password reset, reporting, setting up everything within SysAid. Yeah, it all comes included.
No, that's cool. And if you look at the best practice around that, maybe, is that more really about the logic of creating workflows rather than being able to do it? It's just maybe, is it more about the logic behind it?
Yeah, absolutely. The logic behind it, and we can again provide guidance on that. Best practice. SysAid's been around for almost 20 years. I've got a lot of experience in helping customers. So if you're looking for guidance on how to do that, otherwise a lot of customers come to us with a Word doc of what their current process is, and translating that into a workflow takes, again, approximately 30 minutes. Creating fields is as easy as, again, typing the name, dragging it over, and putting it in the right order, assigning it to the right users, and it's very, very simple to do.
Great stuff. I think we've got enough time for one more, and the question is around BI analytics. When would it be beneficial to use BI analytics over reporting?
So reporting is great for telling you what's happening in real time. So reporting is real-time visuals, it's dashboarding, it's what's going on within your organization up to the second that you generate that report. BI analytics is great for historical. It's updated twice daily, so it's not going to be real-time information. It's not going to be what you're looking for at that exact moment. But again, it is pulled into your data is pulled in twice a day. So it's great for trending analytics, understanding where you might need to staff up, staff down, where your problem areas are, and whether there is trends year over year as opposed to just peaks and valleys. So it's really for your power users, your super users, and people that are making decisions and driving, again, better business decisions.
Great stuff.
Definitely not habitual for every user to be spending their day in.
Indeed, indeed. Well, that's great. Thank you very much indeed for that, Stephen. Thanks for joining us. I think you'll be joining us as well.
Yes.
Not too soon now, actually, not too long, actually, in the next Q&A panel. So again, thank you for now. Thank you for that, and we'll see you a little bit later. Thank you very much indeed.
Perfect. Thank you.
And we're going to move on to our next speaker, who is Pat Moran, Business Solutions Consultant at Axios Systems. And Pat will be looking at service analytics and how integral data is becoming to delivering service and service improvement at speed, that velocity.